Everyone suddenly noticed 3 bars appear on their wrists. Just as they were wondering what it meant, a hippopotamus opened its massive mouth and charged at Bethany. They watched in horror as Bethany was swallowed. But the next second, a chime rang out from the sky, and Bethany was dropped from over 300 meters in the air, crashing to the ground. He had come back right after Bethany respawned. The giant hippo came after them again. The group turned to run, only to run into an even bigger hippo. At that critical moment, an older man arrived in an off-road vehicle and saved all 4 of them, getting them out of danger. The man in the off-road vehicle turned out to be an NPC, a character who provided the game's background. After a brief explanation, he pulled out a jewel and shoved it into the hands of a stunned Spencer, then handed the mission of saving the world to the still bewildered 4. Only by returning the jewel could they get back home. Finally, the man gave them a map and disappeared after completing his part. As the strongest of the 4, Spencer took on the role of leader. With his powerful lats and biceps, he even accidentally triggered his character panel, revealing that he was nearly all-powerful. His strengths included fearless climbing, boomerang skills, and an intense smolder. Each person had unique abilities as well as weaknesses, except for Spencer, who was invincible. Martha's strengths were martial arts and dance fighting, but her weakness was venom. Bethany's strengths were cartography and archaeology, but his weakness was endurance. Fridge, however, had the worst luck. His strengths were Spencer's toolbox and zoology, but his weaknesses were speed, strength, and even cake. When Spencer tried to read the map without understanding it, Bethany took it and recognized the symbols. As he was figuring out their exact location, a cannonball suddenly blasted past them, leaving them terrified. The next second, a squad of motorcycle soldiers flew over the hillside, clearly targeting them. Spencer looked back and saw his teammates had already started running, with the motorcycle soldiers chasing and firing non-stop. With his overwhelming advantage, Spencer ran faster and faster, soon passing his teammates. During an escape, being faster than the others was a blessing, but Fridge's weakness was speed, and he began to fall behind. The 4 rushed into the jungle, but the motorcycle soldiers kept on their trail. Fridge searched his backpack for a weapon, only to pull out a boomerang. That was Spencer's specialty. He threw it, but it did no damage to the enemy, and the 2 of them had no choice but to keep running. They didn't get far before the motorcycle soldiers blocked their path. Miraculously, the boomerang flew back and knocked out several enemies, but as more enemies closed in, Spencer had to carry Fridge and sprint while the other 2 pushed on as well. One soldier charged at Bethany on his motorcycle, but Martha leapt into the air and kicked him off in one strike, leaving Bethany stunned. Just as they were fleeing, they came upon a sheer cliff, with the motorcycle soldiers still in pursuit. Below was a pool of water that might cushion the fall. Martha jumped straight in, and the others followed. Once they climbed ashore, they were safe for the moment, but Martha looked unwell. It turned out she had been shot during the fight. A second later, she vanished, shocking everyone. But soon the familiar chime rang again, and Martha respawned. Spencer looked down and realized what the 3 bars on their wrists meant. They represented their lives.